Hello and welcome to Whisky Resource. My name is Mark. This is review number 101, and today it's going to be a review of a sample that was kindly supplied to me by Dave, who's also known as the Whisky Wash. Go ahead and check his socials down there and give him a follow if you can. So we did a whiskey swap, dram swap, and the whiskey that I'm reviewing today was one that I requested that he sent me. It is the Tobermory 12-year-old single malt whiskey. I've already poured the dram. It's been sitting, breathing just a little bit earlier. So Tobermory Distillery, it is a Highland distillery on the Isle of Mull. They also produce Lecheg, which is I believe their peated expression. So the 12-year-old. Tobermory is owned by the Distill Group, who also own Bunnahabhain and Deanston and Baines. So there's quite a few different really good brands that they own. So I really like the Deanston and I really like the Bunnahabhain, and I really wanted to try the Tobermory. And when I had the opportunity to do a dram swap and get the 12, I jumped at the chance. This was a bottle I was going to buy anyway, because I figured, there's a lot of positive things to be said about the Tobermory 12. But I like to try these things first, because you never know. It is one of those things where you don't want to buy a bottle that you're not really going to enjoy. It retails for an average price of £45 and £45.95. It is non-chill filtered. It is natural colour. It's bottled at 46.3%, which is the signature strength of the Distill Group. Bunnahabhain 12 and Deanston 12 and some of the other core ranges are all bottled at that 46.3. Now, there's a little point I'd like to make about that, which is that is the Deanston 12 and the Bunnahabhain 12, and in this instance the Tobermory 12, the best possible whiskey that it can be? Non-chill filtered, great. Natural colour, fantastic. But the three whiskies that I've named there are all capped at 46.3, which is great. They're a decent strength, but they're all the same, which suggests that the master distillers at each of those distilleries don't really have much of a say as to how those expressions are bottled and put out there. Now, as I say, it's a really good strength, but would those three expressions be better if the master distiller of the respective distilleries could choose through their own tasting and experience what the best strength would be? It's a point. I really don't know. I don't know if those expressions would be better at higher strength or a lower strength. I do know 46.3 is fantastic, and it works for both of them that I've tried so far. So I expect the Tobermory 12 will be along the same kind of lines. What's to say about it? Well, it is unpeated. It is bourbon maturation. It comes in a box with a natural cork. It has an amber colour. And I would probably say, because of the strength being 46.3, it's a bit stronger than somebody who's new to drinking whiskey, and they probably want to ease into the strength. So for that reason, I'd say it's probably more of an intermediate level. However, the strength doesn't necessarily transfer across to the palate and the nose, and some higher strength whiskies can actually feel like they have less alcohol, but we'll see. So onward to the nosing and the tasting. We'll see what we get off this lovely Tobermory 12. I'm saying lovely, I haven't tried it yet. On the nose, it's fruity. It has that lovely whiskiness to it, which I described on the Bunnahabhain 12 as being the most whiskey of whiskies. If I was to have to suggest to somebody what whiskey represents whiskey across all the different categories, then Bunnahabhain 12 for me is that whiskey. This has got a nose that it's just lovely whiskey. It's probably missing some of the maltiness that you would get on a Bunnahabhain, but it's fruity. It's quite floral, quite aromatic. It's an expressive nose. The alcohol's not really presenting itself. The fruits aren't just limited to a citrus note. There's some summer berries going on there. I'm not necessarily saying that it's raspberries or strawberries, but yeah, maybe raspberries and strawberries. It's nice, it's fruity. It's like a summer fruit cocktail there. It is a nice nose. It's a very nice nose. But on the palate. The first thing that hit me straight away was it's sweet. It's syrupy sweet. Lovely oily, voluminous texture. Oranges and citrus, summer fruits very much so. A little bit of vanilla, spicy, peppery, more spice than pepper, but spicy. The spices are more ginger and cinnamon, a bit of clove. Or towards the finish, that spice is there still. A little bit of milk chocolate, oak, a bit of creaminess to it as well. This is a bit dry, a little bit bitter on the finish. The sweetness, it starts really sharp, but not off-putting at all. And then as it moves through the mid to the end palate, the finish, the sweetness drops off and it becomes more dry, allowing some of those aromatics to express themselves more. The fruit drops off, the spice comes in, the oak comes in, and a little bit of that vanilla. That is really nice. And what I'm thinking, after trying the Buna and the Instant and now this, is do those three distilleries work to the same formula? So they try and select the same ex-bourbon cask, so the same origin of cask? Do they have the same barley mash bill? Do they malt the barley for the same length of time? Do they have the same wash, distillation? Who knows? Do they put the distillate in the casks at the same strength? Or the warehouses, the dunnages if they use them, of a very similar temperature control and environmental conditions? Because the 3 drams are very similar. The Deanston has a little bit more grassy green funk notes going on there. The Bunnahabhain has more malts, I would say. This seems to have a bit more floral aromatic fragrances going on there. But they are quite similar. They have a kind of linking DNA across the 3 expressions. Which makes them fantastic. This is a really nice dram. Is it better than the Buna? Is it better than the Deanston? Is it thereabouts the same? I don't know. But with water, as I've just added, it seems to have opened up some of the maltiness. It's a little bit more biscuity, sugar coated biscuits. It's more aromatic, even more so. You've got flowers and flour, barley sugar, that is an everyday sipper. It's a bottle that you can quite happily pull off the shelf, no matter what mood you're in, and enjoy it. I'd say it's more of a spring-summer expression. I think it would be great on a nice, warm, calm spring day. Birds chirping in the evening, sitting out in your garden, just having a chilling dram. And that is a dram that you can enjoy for that. It's very nice. I would recommend it. In terms of price, I say it's £45.95 an average bottle. However, typically you can pick it up a lot cheaper elsewhere. Now, I know I haven't done the price split as to how much you can pick them up for. I must admit, when I did that average price, it was quite some time ago. I actually got that average price on the 21st of April of last year, 2020. So what I'll be doing is in the write-up review, which you can see down in the description there, I'll put together the 3 or 4 prices that it's available for, and that average price may have changed. Yes, I recommend a bottle. As I was going to say, I have seen this on places like Amazon for £36, which is a fantastic price to pay for that. I think it's well worth it. It's thereabouts how much you pay for both the Deanston and the Booner. It is just overall a very, very nice dram. Thanks, Dave, for sending me this. It is definitely one that I will be picking up. In terms of drams that I've had so far this year, that I think is probably close to top in the list, if not top of the list. But go and read the review as to how I actually give it an overall score and how I consider it for value scores as well. Cheers.